Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Chadley. This is my first official behind the scenes type video where I'm just going to talk about like the inner workings of the rig and just give you guys a little bit more insight. So this character comes from a project called Dorothea on the Rocks, which was recently released. It's on YouTube for everyone to see. I'll put the link in the description. So this character is one of the most advanced rigs I had to build. I used a lot of Duik Angela. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Um, but I used a lot of the new Duik version to put this together. And it came in very useful. And I used a bunch of like my own little expressions here and there and know-how. The task was they wanted a lot of this character's body movements to have some kind of IK. So the arms, the legs, everything had to be IK. I at some point I IK'd the dress, the little skirt, but it made the actual file too heavy. Like as you can see, there's already like some lag when I move it around, and this is on half. So we decided, okay, let's not rig the dress. And it looked very promising, but it didn't work for every position, for everything we wanted it to do. It worked for like walking and specific things. But we decided, no, let's not rig the dress. I think the better option would be sorry, I keep saying dress, the skirt. The better option would be if the skirt was like its own layer that you could unlock. And then when the animator wants, as you move the foot, then you can just animate the skirt afterwards. So basically you do whatever your character wanted to do, a walk, a sit, or if she's moving around, then you can freely animate the skirt to move along with what her legs are doing. And it gives the animator a little bit more control. Because something like cloth and stuff, I think when a character is moving and it has to move in a specific way, you do want some level of control, and you don't want the control to break your machine. I think that's an important part. So yeah, the whole torso, everything moves nicely together. The hips, of course, like as an animator, you don't want to, if you move things too far, just like your hips would break in real life, certain pieces of the art breaks off. So not break off, but start to show. So you're not gonna bend it that far in a scene ever, unless it's like super exaggerated. But we'll have like certain tricks we'll do to clean that up. So the arms, everything is arcade using Duik. This control. So this is my first time using the auto rigger actually. So I'm used to, when I use Duik, I place my bones down custom, and I only IK certain things. Arms, and I think arms is something I always keep FK because I feel it's better for expression. But there is a nice switch to switch it back to FK and animate between FK and IK, which I really love. Legs I keep IK because that's very convenient. But most of the things I keep FK. But in this case, this auto rig actually came out really nice, just for like certain poses and expressions and the level of control it gave me. So yeah, the auto rigger is very nice. I made these shoulder controls as well, so she can have like little shrugs. This I went through quite a few different ways of doing it. First it was puppet pin, then puppet pins became too heavy, so I think in the end I went with um, doing the, what is it, I can't get to the name now, but the function where you parent your keys, so you animate the shape and then parent the keys to an object. So that's I ended up doing that method. I'll get to the name. The name just escapes me right now. Uh, and I think yeah, this one for like the master control for the upper body. So it gives the rig like nice movement. So then the animator has to place like less keys when moving things. So FK, you key you key all pieces of the arm, all pieces of the body, all pieces of the head. Where with the IK, if I wanted to just make a lean over, it's one key there, maybe a key, maybe a key over here. Yeah. So that's enough about the auto rig. This character was supposed to have, or she does have, three costumes, and she has three phases of life. So she has, this is the young version, then there's the mature version, then there's the old version as well. I will show this in the other rig that I have stacked over here, that I've prepared over here. But for now, I'll just do this one because it's the lighter one. So that rig I called the master rig just because it had all the bells and whistles. So yeah, to finish off with all the body rigging, let me show off the facial rigging that I did. So I made this little switch that if you don't need the facial rigging or you don't want to see it while animating, you can just easily turn it off. Yeah, and each view had to have a hat. So she has a hat for, so this is a London costume. There's a field costume, and there was a tennis costume. So each one had a hat. Uh, I have this little facial control over here. You see nice movement. Let me just adjust my quality just to see if I can give a little bit smoother look. Yeah, of course you can see this rig has a lot in it. Uh, Makes it quite heavy. I built it to run on most machines, and in a lot of cases, with all the rigs, I saved it down to work on After Effects 2018. So this can work on most machines, most setups, because a lot of the animators didn't have the latest machines and the latest this, so it had to be extremely versatile. But yeah, when you're animating, it doesn't have to be super smooth when moving around. As long as you can get the poses out in a relatively quick time, I think it works out. Because the worst case would be you move the face and it takes like 10 minutes to give you that pose. So I think like a couple of seconds, a couple of milliseconds, I think it's fine. Hopefully I can do something to get my machine even faster. But for now, I think this is the best my machine can do. Maybe you have a much more powerful machine than me, and when you build one like this, it will run a lot smoother. So yeah, the brief was to have smooth head turns. So the character had to have a very smooth head turn when animating. They didn't want any snappy uh, art swapping or anything. They wanted everything to feel smooth, and they wanted the animation to feel as realistic as possible. So all these controllers was to allow for smooth control over every aspect of her face. So the control for eyebrows. And this one for the eyelids. For this, she had like an expression where she had a closed eye like that and a closed eye like this. So it felt more convenient to have that on one controller. so that she can have a little more range in her expression. And because she's the main character, she had to have the most expressive face. So over here with the mouth, they wanted, when the lip sync comes out, they wanted the lips to feel mostly smooth. So you move this around to give like a nice smooth lip sync. But because like I think because of the language, it still come out quite snappy. Like some of the vowels sit very close together. And the nature of this mouth rig, you always have to return to, so this, let's call this your 0 mark. So I place all the normal mouths here. So you always have to return to that, then go to a different mouth to get a nice smooth key, or get it as close to the next key, as close to the next mouth position, you can say, as possible, so that it's a smoother transition from one shape to the other. So from left to right is smooth. If you're going from up to down, it will be a bit snappy. So to mitigate that, you will place your one key here, your other key here, and your other key there. And then she'll have like a smoother mouth open if you're animating it. So when she's doing lip sync, that's the best way to get it nice and smooth. And then I also had like a little slider to make a sad, where it makes like sad mouth shapes. This is very important when rigging. You always want to give your character a happy mouth set and a sad mouth set. Always, always, always. It just gives your character a nice expressive range in their lip sync and in their expressions. There were certain scenes we needed it to be even more happier than what the mouths I built allowed. So I made this little slide over here so that we can like push her expression even more, so she can be like super happy. I have made this little teeth slider just in case, like for certain vowels, certain sounds, you wanted to have a little bit more teeth, or if you wanted to like have a smile with closed teeth, pull that down, can close the teeth, give a little less teeth. And this came in handy for like a whole bunch of different expressions that she had. This little hat switch, yeah, the way I rigged the hat was the same way I rigged the shoulders. Ah, the connector, the Duik connector, that's the thing. So yeah, the same way I rigged the shoulders, where I would animate the body shifting with the shoulder and then just connect the keys with the Duik connector. So with the hat, I would check the head turn and then key the head turn and use the Duik connector, so that would move with the face controller. So when she turns her head, the hat turns as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't key the up and down on the same layer, because I just broke it too much. So then I had a different hat, so then I just have it swap to a hat that allows for the up and down. So that needs to be like angle up and down, there's a different hat for that. If it comes straight, just turn to the straight hat. So all these can be keyed, and of course you have full control in your timeline to place that key at the right place so that it's a nice smooth transition. And that's for the London. So let me show you the field. So with the field is a little bit more advanced. She has a bag, but that's not the advanced part. So in this view, there was a lot of times when she needed to like look in both directions. So I had to create a nice head turn where she could look in both directions and have that be a very smooth motion. And same thing with the Duik connector. After I animated it, I just used the Duik connector, parented, connected it all to this controller, and there you have it. It's the same with the shoulders. The hat exactly the same. Just animate that with the head turn and connect it to the head. Then let me show you the Grandmaster rig, let's call it that. So this was basically the original. This one had all the costumes built in. It was a way to like save having to like swap between multiple rigs every time and just get comfortable just working with, so you don't have a lot of files you need to keep track of. And it was supposed to be the easier choice to work with, but in the end, like too many people's machines wouldn't be able to handle it. Like it's too taxing on the machine. So let me just show you. If I turn ahead, you can see it's a little bit more taxing than the other rig. This one also, like, she could look all the way around, because there were moments where she would have to do like a full 180 turn, so the rig had to be capable of doing that. So here's like the little switch to turn her old, so that using the same rig she can still can make her old. She still has the same functionality, just now she has that little extra skin on her neck in her old mode. Everything else is still the same. Of course the hat color is different. As you will see, this one has all three costumes but the bag. So even if I turn the switch on here, bag still doesn't show up. But when I go to the field mode, then she has her bag. But I can also turn the bag off over here. And going to field, it changes her hat as well. So this allows you to you can literally do an animation and have it change from young to old in the same shot. Take the hat off. So yeah, you can see how taxing it is on my machine. Turn it, okay. And we can turn a young. Same clothes, same position, same functionality no matter whether she's young or old. And then she has a tennis outfit. So another thing unique to this master rig is that it had this body turn as well. So other than swapping the costumes, each costume had to be capable of like allowing the character to turn into like a certain pose as well. If we go, then she's in a profile. I think with the London costume, she only had a front and a profile. There was a back view, but I think that when she was in a back view, she didn't have a lot of movement on her body, so it didn't seem necessary to create a back view for the body, like with the rig. But with the field view, if I swap to that outfit, the field view had a lot of times when she was coming from quarter back all the way to a quarter front. So the rig had to be capable of doing that. So if I turn a quarter back, move her arm, move her head, and then she's quarter back. A nice thing about all this thing I forgot to show, I'll show now. So all these nulls stacked up here, they're hidden here, but I'll show it on one of the lighter rigs. So all these nulls allow me to move these pieces around. So I have it on each of the rigs. So say I'm animating and I'm doing the lip sync, but I'm busy with the face as well. So me as the animator, I don't like what the rigger did. I don't like this whole layout. So then you could just simply take your lip sync with this null and just move it over here. I can move the face out the way. Maybe I don't want the face there. Maybe I just want the mouth here. So now I can operate like this. It will keep all my keyframe information, do all the same things. I can still turn the head. And they work no matter where you move any of these. So the keyframe information is on the controller, and the null itself allows me to move these sliders around so that any animator can just position this according to how they would like the setup to be. And the same for the master. If I turn all these guys on, so all this UI I just made myself, and all the other controllers come from Duik. If you're not using Duik yet, I recommend if you're not using Duik yet, I recommend to use it. Try it out. It's a really amazing plugin. It's free, but of course, the owner of the plugin takes donation. I would highly recommend donate and show him as much support, because this plugin is the most amazing thing for any 2D artist working inside of After Effects. Yeah, and that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you like the rig. I will try and put out more snippets where you can see the rig in action from the shots. So I'll do a little side by side where you can see the shot and you can see how the rig was used in the shot. I will try in future to make tutorials on how to set up a facial rigging control system like this. Set up a tutorial how to create your own UI. But yeah, if people want me to do that, just comment, just like, subscribe, do the things, and yeah, show me your support, and I'll try and get all these videos out as soon as I can. And yeah, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.